Welcome, everybody, to exciting episode of Greater Futures Podcast. I got a rabbit in the room. He's a part of this episode, too, along with Noah and Owen. A couple guys, I'll let them tell about themselves, but we're excited to hear who they are, how they think about their life, how they think about money and their choices as a couple good guys that I'm thankful to know. So Noah, you're holding the mic. Gio says you start, man. Who are you? What are you doing here?
All right, I'm Noah Gould. I just graduated from Savannah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm going to K-State in a few weeks to study engineering. Wakefield was my tennis coach throughout high school. I swam. And I was involved in a few other things, but just getting ready for college and all that.
Yeah, great. Owen, you take the mic. Who are you, man?
My name is Owen Marinchik. My introduction is very similar, except I'm a year younger. I'm a senior at Savannah High School. I'm in swim. Wake was my tennis coach. I'm planning to go to K-State for engineering as well.
Are you going to play more tennis?
Yes.
Oh.
I'm going to play tennis again this year.
Nice. I thought that was a little up in the air, so good. So you two, you've spent a lot of your time, I know, swimming together, and you've had a great swim team experience. You're a little sad this guy's left you.
Yeah.
But you excited that now, like, his person, like, it's your team now, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm excited to run it. There were a few things he did last year that I was like, I would have done that better. So
right, yeah. So room for improvement. Did you guys know each other before high school?
Yeah, I knew him for a while. I thought he was really weird until like sophomore year.
Until your sophomore year? Or his?
No, his.
Yeah,
his sophomore year.
yeah, I had known of Noah since like early middle school, but honestly, I think I was kind of scared of him. He was a little intimidating until about my sophomore year. Then we got really close.
Yeah.
When we went to Colorado skiing together.
And you guys got to spend a lot of time doing that, right? You both enjoy winter sports.
Oh, yeah. I snowboard, he skis, and we've been on 3 trips out there. 4?
A lot. Yeah.
I think it's 4. 4 trips out to Colorado and 1 to Salt Lake. So that's always a lot of
Do you
fun.
have your passes for next season already?
Yes, we do. We do
Nice.
have our passes for this season.
He does. I didn't get one.
Oh, because a little different lifestyle now.
Correct.
Yeah.
I don't know how busy I'm gonna be.
Right.
So, yeah, I decided I'll take a break this year. I think we may go. I think we are planning to go like once, but
Did he get you into that? Or how did you get into skiing?
No, one of my other buddies, that's my age, he kind of convinced me to get a pass one year because I kind of enjoy. I went to Snow Creek a few times, and he just kind of pushed me to get my own stuff and get into it. And then come to learn, like, he was big into it, their family's big into it. So yeah, it all just kind of came together naturally after I was initially pushed to get my stuff. So
what do you enjoy? Why ski?
I don't know. It's just kind of it's just an exhilarating experience. I don't know. It's just kind of like you learn, like you see a lot of new things, and it's challenging, and it's, just kind of fun. I don't know. I like it a lot, just kind of being around all of those guys. But yeah, I wouldn't go. I don't think I'd go as much as I did if it were by myself.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Would you ever go by yourself?
I could see myself going by myself. I don't think I'd have close to as much fun, but
Right.
yeah.
So how about you, Owen? Did you start skiing or did you learn on a board?
So my mom was a huge skier when she was in college, and she stayed with it. So I've been skiing since I could walk, basically. And I started skiing, and then in 8th grade, for some reason, every ski boot I put on just hurt so bad. So I decided to switch to snowboarding because the boots are more comfortable, and that's where I've been since. I can still ski. Every now and then I'll put Abram's boots on, my brother's boots on.
Because he still skis.
He still skis.
Yeah.
He's a demon. He's really good.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he likes to talk about it too.
How good he is.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, when you're good at something and you know it, that's a pretty good feeling. You're a good boarder.
I'm all right.
You try to get some air.
Yeah, it's much easier to get air on a board than skis, so it looks way more impressive than what AB does. But
Yeah.
what he does is harder.
Yeah. So he can get air on his skis too.
Yes, he can.
Wow.
He's a big cliff guy. Finds the cliffs and jumps off them.
Not as cliff as you think.
No.
It's like drop off. Drop offs, yeah. Like
Yeah.
It's still impressive.
It is. But I'm sure whatever you're thinking of is not what he's doing.
Oh, I just imagine Abram handling a tennis racket. I'm like, no offense, AB, but yeah, I'm impressed by all of you. Good times. Yeah, going by yourself versus with people is always a good test. Like, what do I love about this? Because it's fun with friends.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
That's what I found a lot in swimming too. Like, I think if I had to go through those 4 years on my own, I couldn't have found, or I would have found little to no enjoyment of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think a lot of it was just the people around.
Yeah, swimming itself sucks. No one likes swimming. No one likes the workouts, the grind, but it's always about the team and hanging out with your friends and doing good at meets.
Okay, and I believe that about both of you. Is there anything you do that's like, it's me, and that's it? Or is it all about the friendships and the team and the relationships along the way?
You're saying anything?
Yeah, I mean, anything that you guys are like, yeah, I've done this, and it's a lonely road, like, but I enjoy it even without the people that go along with me.
I mean, like, I think any of academic goals, like, I think I did pretty well at school, and I mean, a lot of that was on my own, kind of motivation and just certain things to, get to where I'm at today. Going to K-State and studying what I want to study. It's taken a lot out of me, and I feel like it's going to take a lot more. I think a lot of that will come from my individual motivation. I mean, a little bit of it's going to come from other people, but like, if I want to see myself in 4 years with that degree, it's going to take a lot, like, of myself to get to that. I don't know.
And no one's on that ride with you anymore. Because did you have anybody who you kind of tracked with academics when you were at high school?
Oh yeah, there was a group, but no, I'm kind of going off by myself. Like, especially with my degree, there are no other guys going to K-State from Savannah. So, yeah, I'm kind of on my own, but I've already made connections. I'm ready. So, yeah.
Nice. How about you, Owen? Like, the teams have been great. I know you played tennis because did someone say it's a good idea? Or were you going to do it anyway?
I played tennis my freshman year because I think my parents said I had to do something in the spring.
Buddy.
And I had taken a few tennis lessons prior, so I figured I've got somewhere to start there. Yeah. Although it was almost golf. Yeah. I almost golfed, and I'm glad I didn't. Because
really?
I had a blast on the tennis team. Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure.
Melvin's a great coach. Is there anything that you're like, yeah, I do go this on a more lonely road, and it's still good? Because I know you've appreciated your teams, too.
In terms of things I like to do by myself, I think sometimes I'm a big lone hiker. Like, we took this big trip out to Glacier last summer and went on these super long, like 14-mile hikes through the mountains. And I think there were sections of it where I had lost the group and I was just going on my own. I think that was so therapeutic, just being able to walk by myself. And
did they know you were okay?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, they knew I was ahead of them. It was just one trail. Yeah. But just to think about, what's going on and what I wanted to do with, I don't know, the rest of my life and just figuring things out.
Is it hitting you a little harder now you're going to be a senior?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
It is hitting me, but seeing Noah go through it last year, because we were very close and we still are very close, I think that really has given me a good idea of what to expect and how to handle it. So I feel fairly prepared.
Yeah. Great work. All right, so this is the last question before I send us into the $1 million segment. I would like you two to consider a time when you felt the most alive. Like, what was an experience like, man, yeah, that feeling was incredible. Like, it isn't even hard to describe, but this is the things that went into it. They're like, man, I just felt great. It felt good. I felt alive. Can you recall what it was and what were some of the factors that made it so?
I have two things like that instantly come to mind. Not even, I think.
Steal mine.
You think so?
You better steal mine.
I don't know.
If it's the same, I mean, you share a lot in common.
I don't know. There are a few that I can think off the top of my head. Like sport-wise throughout high school, I think there were plenty of times where, you know, like I think mostly as a team, just like celebrating together when something crazy happened. But I don't know. I think the two biggest things that instantly come to my mind are, I don't know. One time I will say I was skiing. We were in Park City, and it was like our last run of the day or last run of the trip. And we were going down, and it was like just like the view, just like looking out and like seeing that. I still kind of remember, and there was music playing in my ear, and it was just kind of like I don't know, like I felt really good to be where I was at. And I'd say another one was probably at Mizzou. We swam. It was my senior year, and we were gunning for this record, our school record, in our relay. And we finally beat it, but we didn't just beat it. We beat it by like 3 or 4 seconds, and it took us like a year and a half, like so long, to do this. But we were just behind the blocks. I don't even know, like, did we even place first in our heat? I don't know. I don't know if we did well, like, compared to everyone else, but we beat that time by multiple seconds, and we were just going crazy behind the block, like we didn't really care what anyone else thought, but yeah, it was just kind of like a, great experience. Mm-hmm. And I mean, there are plenty more like that have happened before my senior year, but just kind of recently, there's been a lot that I have like.
How close did you get on that record previously in your failed attempts? Like, were you ever like within a second?
Was it a few seconds? Maybe like a second and a half.
Yeah.
Second and a half.
We weren't like super close.
Which after doing that, which after doing the relay often, like so often, a second and a half is a lot. Like in swimming, it's a lot of time. 'Cause that's like every person has to shave this much off, but we ended up beating it by like 3 or 4 seconds. So yeah, it came out of nowhere, and it was just great experience.
Nice.
So.
Awesome. Good. Owen, how about you? Times you felt the most alive.
I've got one that trumps everything else. There was this.
That trumps his answers. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Is it the one
Yeah.
that, okay.
No, it's not the same one.
Yeah.
But there was this one swim meet at Platte County. It was an invitational with some really good other teams there, and we have never won it. We've never won an invitational. Savannah swim team has never won an invitational.
Keep in mind, Savannah swim team is what, 6 years
Yeah.
old?
Yeah.
So
Young team, young program.
yeah.
Yep. And our coach Tammy told us that if we win this one, we get T-shirts. And she really, really wanted us to win it. And throughout the meet, it was super close between us and I don't even remember what school it was. But then it came down to our last relay, which was full of like our mid-tier swimmers that needed to place high for us to win this meet. And they did. And as soon as they finished, and then when they were calling out scores, as soon as they called second place and it wasn't us, we all ran to our coach and like jumped around and started screaming, and it was incredible. It was just insane.
And then and I'm gonna be a little like tear it down a little bit just to get more of what made it special. But this was a mid-season meet, right? Mm-hmm. That probably didn't even publish in the paper who won.
Nope.
And yet, to you, it was unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, why?
It was, I mean, Savannah has never won an invitational, and our
Team success on the swim team has never been a thing. So it was just cool that at that point, like, man, we saw that success. And then we went on to conference, and we got like third at conference. So it was it was like a little different. It was a very different experience. Not even like that it was such a big deal for everyone else around us, but like, I don't know.
I think my biggest part was that it didn't come down to like the top 4 or 5 guys on the team.
Yeah.
Is that it was everybody. Everybody scored points. Everybody was swimming their best events. And that last relay that it came down to that scored us those last points we needed.
Yeah, really special. Would it have changed it if, say, 3 years earlier that team would have won that same meet? Would it have not been as special?
You mean like if
we have won it before?
Yeah.
Oh.
Since it was like a first for the program.
I think it being a first definitely made it a little sweeter, but I still would have gone crazy if we had won it before.
How much of the sweetness was because you did do early morning, cold water, the pain of like training together, where you said it's just not fun to train as a swimmer.
I definitely felt that pay off more at like state and one of our bigger meets, Como, down in Columbia, because those are the ones where like the only like me, Noah, and the 2 other guys on our relay, we were doing 4 hours of practice every day, just grinding for so long, and it was awful, and to see it pay off was really special.
Nice, good. Appreciate all those answers. Okay, so now you can keep the microphone, Owen. So feeling alive, really kind of the main theme, because like I think if you've got money, but it's not like making things just, man, this is life. Like what's even the point, So there's plenty of rich people who are miserable. So trying to figure more about that out. But money is a real thing that we all pay attention to. So if you had $1 million, no restrictions, how would you use that money like right now? And you don't have to spend it all, but what would you spend on? And would it change any of your future plans to get $1 million in your bank account right now? What would you use it? How would you use it? Would it change anything that you currently are planning for?
I'd say if I came into $1 million right now, I think I'm responsible enough to know that I would be irresponsible with it. So I think I would put it away and stay on the path I'm on and just, maybe not have to work a job in college. But I would still go to college. I think I would still go through to be an engineer. I think it would just make things much easier, less stressful, I think I'd stay on my trajectory.
Nice. Would it feel different? Would college feel different?
Oh yeah. I think it would feel so much less stressful. I mean, it would still definitely feel important and meaningful, and I would still give it the same amount of effort, but just having it in the back of my mind, knowing that, no matter what happens, I'm going to be okay, I think would be a huge relief.
Because right now you would probably plan on working in college. Is that an idea?
Yeah.
And you know how you're going to take care of college financially?
I'll
take that as a no.
I haven't really thought about it much yet. No, I do not.
Nice. But you also was like, but $1 million would make it
much easier. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Nice. How about you, Noah?
I'm kind of on the same boat as him. I don't think it would really change much. I could see myself, I think I'd put aside a little bit for a little bit of spending money. I think it'd be a very small percentage, but like, I think initially, first things first, pay off the rest of my tuition, that I owe. And then, I think I would use a tiny bit of it and just put the rest away. I don't think it would change much because I've heard a lot of stories of people that, win the lottery and then they think it's, enough money to use for the rest of their life. And then it's like, no, it's not. They spend it and then they're bankrupt, homeless, whatever happens. $1 million is a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money. It's not a lot of money for the rest of your life. Like, especially dependent on how you use it. If you want to live a comfortable life, it's hard to say that $1 million would get you from, 19 years old to,
He's cool.
So I don't know. Yeah.
So you said I'd use a little. Like, what are some things you might spend on in the short term?
I don't know. There's probably a few. I could see myself like going somewhere, and then maybe a few other, luxuries that I couldn't pay for now. I don't know. Obviously not. Yeah, obviously not enough to put a big dent in it. But like, if I plan on saving 95% of it, I think it's okay to use that other 5% for something, something fun or
yeah.
Wait, describe what just happened.
So I have a map against the wall, and the rabbit enjoys eating maps and paper in general. So I turned the map around so Gio would be a little more satisfied. Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, we need to put the GoPro on.
On Gio, and he probably could get some angles. Yeah, for sure. Would you do anything different car-wise?
yes. My car is. I think it'll last me through college. I think hopefully it's like 13 years old, but it has 220,000 miles on it. So
He's at it again.
So I don't know. I think it definitely. I get a new car. I didn't even really think of that, but yes, my car is not.
Do you remember
gonna
how
last me
much
a
you
long
paid
time.
or how much it cost?
Yeah, it was. I think it was in the range of like 3,300 to 3,600, which was good at the time.
Right.
It was
That
before. Yeah, it was maybe a year after. I think it was 2021.
Yeah.
2021, I think. Yeah.
But before they really used
Yeah,
cars really
before
started
before
going.
all of the. Yeah, I think my car would be worth a lot more now
Yeah.
than it. Yeah, even though it has a lot more.
Have you priced cars at all in the last
Have
few
I
years?
looked at them?
Like price, yeah, like, oh, I could get a different car and what it might cost you.
No,
Yeah.
I know. My sister paid a lot more for her car, and it's kind of the same. It's same Toyota Honda. It's kind of the same build though,
Yeah.
model. So no, I have not thought about it. I think the goal is after 4 years, because I don't plan on driving it much either, other than like from Manhattan to Savannah.
Yeah.
So other than that, no.
Yeah. Owen, how about you? Would you upgrade car at all if you had $1 million?
I would not. I'm very grateful for my car. This is kind of
What do you drive?
I drive a 2018 Toyota Camry, and this is embarrassing.
What do you drive?
2011 Toyota Corolla.
Toyota boys rolling in.
Sir. It's kind of embarrassing to say, but my parents did buy my car for me.
Yeah.
So, and I'm very thankful. very
I
grateful.
also did not have to pay out of pocket for my first car.
I will say I didn't pay for my whole car either. I think I paid for a little more than a third. Probably, I don't know.
Could you, if you had to? Do you two think you could have? Like, if you had zero help, could you have gotten wheels?
Yes, I
Yeah.
could have.
And does it matter to you? Because you guys, those are both modest cars, right? It's not someone like, whoa, look at that Camry. Like, does it matter to you and why? Like, what matters to you about the car you drive?
As long as it gets me there and it doesn't look absolutely horrible, then I'm all right with it. Then I'm good. And it doesn't, just constantly break down. So
I feel like you could also roll in a car that looked like, I feel like it should look not horrible at all or look pretty bad. Because I feel like you could own a car that was like pretty janky. And like, yeah, this is my car. What's
yeah, I mean, if I did have a janky car, I would rock it proudly for sure. But no, very grateful for what I do have.
Yeah, good. All right, so both of you, I've got to know both these guys pretty well. Just in tennis, we've got to talk about more than just hitting a yellow ball over the net. So this segment is called You, and it's basically how you view the world and why you view the world the way you do. I've told the fellas, like, there's no wrong answers, which is nice. If you want to, if you're good with him down there, the rabbit down there. It's the show's mascot. We
Would
decided.
it ease your mind if I put Gio in the cage?
I don't know. He might start rattling his cage. I think he's good. Yeah, these guys seem cool with it. Yeah.
I want to try to pick him up.
Yeah.
Can I
Yeah. Try pick him up.
Be gentle.
This is the part of the show where Owen gets bit by a rabbit. No, did he not have
I
it?
think so. It ran out of my hand.
He appreciate like strength and confidence. That's what he. Yeah. So
okay.
next time you have a shot, just go at it. Go at it strongly. All right. So I'd like to know about as much about you and how you make your choices as possible. So the first part of that question is like, how did you become who you are? What like as it much like this is just who I am, just by genetics or who I was born to be? How much of it was parent influences? Pop culture influences, media influences, teachers, coaches, and I'm not fishing for an answer, knowing I was an adult in your life for the last few years, but just how have you put together how you would make a choice that you're going to have to make here in the next year? What's the framework that you've built, and where did it come from?
I would say a lot of it definitely is like the bigger people in my life, like my parents, the rest of my family, my brother. Yes, definitely my coaches, like other friends that I do feel like I can communicate with and I trust. And I'd say God, like I feel like it's if you don't have anyone else to turn to, I think he's a great person to look to for any kind of question you have or uncertainty in life. So yeah, I think just kind of like, I don't know, I look to those people and then I, look at myself. What do I want? What's the right decision? I think morally, ethically, like what, is this hurting anyone? Like, is it, helping myself? Is it helping others as well? Like, I don't know. I think there are so many aspects. And I think as you grow up, you mature in a way that you have to look at all of your options into making a decision. And that's, the people around you, yourself, and I don't know. I'd say, yeah.
So keep the mic a little longer, Noah. So you have an older brother, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ben, how many years apart are you two?
Basically 2.
Yeah. So there's somebody who had a very similar experience to you. Same family, same high school, but how different are you two, if at all? And what do you see in him that's different? And why do you think you two are different?
I'd say I'm definitely a little more reserved than my brother. He's definitely an outgoing, like he can approach someone that he doesn't know and have a, very, deep conversation with. He did door-to-door sales last year. Like I could never do that. Never. So yeah,
But he'd say he'd never do it again too.
Correct. He hated it, but
Yeah.
like I'm not great at approaching someone, out of the blue that I, haven't gotten to know. I think me getting comfortable with someone and being able to talk to someone, it takes a lot more than, a simple greeting of, what's your name? So yeah, I think he's much more outgoing and like just not, I don't know. He's a lot less reserved.
And you think that's just the way you two are wired differently, or have you made different choices along the way?
No, I definitely think it's the way we just are. I don't think it's bad either way though too. I think I don't talk as much, I'd say, but I think what I have to say is, important when I have to say it. And no, he like same with him, like he talks more, but he also has, things to say, good things to say. So yeah, I think.
Have you ever wished you were more like him, or do you see that he should be more like you?
I mean, yeah, I'd say until a few years ago, yeah, I think definitely I was not jealous, but I was like, oh yeah, it'd be cool to kind of like be able to do that. Honestly, still, I'm like, yeah, sometimes I wish I could approach that person and talk to them, even though I don't know who they are. But no, I feel like I've, as I've matured, I've found the strengths and, the way my brain works. And there's things that I could probably get from him, and there's probably things that I could get or that he could get from me. I think sometimes it is smarter to listen more, talk less. But yeah,
Nice. Well said. All right, Owen, take the mic. So what were the influence? How did you become who you are? Was it just all random, or was it factors building into creating you?
I think early in my life, my dad was definitely the biggest influence on my life in terms of the decisions I made and how I reacted to situations and, the things I chose to do. But I think more recently, I think Abram, my little bro. My little brother
rabbit hair too.
has been a big influence on the decisions I make for similar reasons to what Noah said about his brother, but from the other perspective, because I'm 19 months older than him. I look at him and I do things based off of, I want to set a good example for him. I don't really know how to elaborate on that.
Yeah,
but.
yeah. And so your family has been a big influence.
Mm-hmm.
Is that all? Like, have there been any other voices in your life? You didn't mention media at all, but how much of even the clothes you choose to wear and the words you choose to use, what have been those other factors working on you guys?
I think for sure, honestly, since I've been in high school, a big one has honestly been Noah. Mm-hmm. Has been a huge influence on me based of, how I spend my free time, how I treat other people, who I talk to, the way I hold myself. I think he's definitely been a big influence and a great example,
Yep.
of the right way to do things and what not to do.
When you considered him, because you met him, you were a freshman, he was a sophomore on the swim team, right? That was your first high school experience.
Mm-hmm.
And Noah's and you weren't, were you a leader on that swim team your sophomore year?
No.
Yeah.
My brother was a senior.
Right.
Yeah, and then there were a few other guys that were seniors. So
what about him was, that's worth paying attention to, do you think?
I don't think I really saw it until my sophomore year when we got really close. Because my freshman year on that swim team, he was just goofing around with Isaiah the whole time, and I just kind of watched him and laughed, But once we started to become closer friends, and I started to actually talk to him and hear his perspective on things and his plan for the future and how he thought about school, it made me think differently and it made me take it a lot more seriously.
Mm-hmm. How'd you guys even get talking about such serious stuff?
Well, that just
when we first started being really close.
I'm missing something.
When did we really get a lot closer?
That ski trip, yeah. That ski trip was really the point where I would have considered Noah one of my closest friends. Because honestly, prior to that, I was a little nervous. Because
I was too.
we still at that point we still weren't super close friends. And then, sleeping in the same hotel bed for a couple nights in a row. That really did it. That did it.
Yeah. I think ski lifts are a great time to figure out the world
100%.
together. Because you get, 5 to 10 minutes just cruising. Mm-hmm. Nothing else to do.
Some of the best conversations of my life.
Yeah.
For sure been on the ski lift.
Yeah. Awesome.
No, but definitely that hotel room from 4 p.m. to 1 a.m. 3 nighs.
Way later than that.
Whatever it was, but we just had so much time to just get so much closer and become, best friends. I don't know. I think that was definitely that point was when we initially got a lot closer with each other.
Just able to trust each other.
Yeah.
So what's your perspective on this?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
Interesting.
like he was saying, before the trip, I was like, man, I know him kind of we're friends, but I don't really know his family that well. I was just kind of I was just going, but yeah, it was worth it. So.
Have you either you two in your friendship or with a sibling, or maybe even a coach, have you ever had someone yeah, I trust you, I respect you, I just do not see things the way you do right now, or on this issue?
Yeah, we have some swim buddies. Sometimes I feel like there are definitely disagreements. Like I have some friends that I mean, I'll tell them almost anything, but yeah, there are definitely times that we disagreed, especially on the swim team. Like we got so close that we were okay with like disagreeing with each other, and sometimes it got out of hand. But like
yelling, or like how did it
oh
go?
yeah, like things got ugly sometimes. I mean,
Fist fights.
close. No, I'm just kidding. No, definitely. Like we disagreed a lot. Like especially those last 2 years, we became so close that it was like we were okay to like tell each other how we felt about things.
Be honest.
Yeah,
Brutally honest.
Yeah, sometimes that wasn't the prettiest, but no, like we've always come out of it like
Closer,
yeah,
stronger.
for sure.
What about the shows you watch or the accounts you follow on social media, TikTok, YouTube? Are those do those rub off on you at all? And if so, how much?
You want to take this?
Sure. I'd say slightly, but for more stuff like that, because that's stuff I like to do in my free time. And stuff I like to do in my free time is, for the most part, just, stuff I've always liked to do and stuff that comes from me and less so from other people. I'm a big Beat Saber guy in my free time, and that's all me. So. And recently Animal Crossing, which is all me.
We gotta get that progress, right?
Oh yeah.
How about you? Social media and media in general, like, is it having any impact on you?
Not really. Like, I feel like, I don't really watch anything that I'm like, man, I should do this do some, like, I need to do it like this in the future. I need to act like this. Like, I think with what I like, what I watch, I feel like it's just, I watch it for enjoyment, and I don't really play games, but no, when I watch TV or something, it's just to watch TV. Like right now I'm watching The Middle. It's just like, just a normal TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It doesn't really influence me.
Yeah. Hey, tap that rabbit under your chair. He's right. He's as far under the middle of you as possible. Mascot needs to quit eating the furniture. That's his only thing he's not supposed to do.
Tapping him.
Tap him.
Come on.
Him and I have a love-hate relationship.
There he is.
Great. Okay, so where have you two been spending the majority of your time the last few years? What place have you given the most of your time to?
Well, in the summer, I'm 24/7 at the pool, whether it be being there for practice at 6 in the morning and then teaching swim lessons and then working the day.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm always at the pool in the summer. During the winter.
Not the way you like it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, it's a great place, great people, for sure.
Yep.
The rest of the year, man.
Savannah High School, right?
Savannah High School, yeah. I mean, we go to the mountains a lot. We go on quite a few ski trips each year. We hit about average of 4. So we're out there quite a bit.
But you would spend a majority of your time in the walls of that high school building.
Yes.
True.
Yes, I do.
And that's where same for you. Yeah. So what is that experiencing like? Like, it's what you're, everybody can agree, like, education's good. Like, it's good to learn about yourself and the world. But what about that place has been good? What's been like, maybe not the best use of my time? How's that used your time well? How has it not used your time or energy well?
I think I have a pretty neutral feeling about school. I don't like it. I don't hate it. But like the important classes, like all the math and science classes, those ones I don't really have a problem with because I know that they're important. I'm gonna need them.
Let's try him in the cage for a while. I mean,
Come here,
you want a treat?
This is going insane.
I think it's when he gets excited, he starts almost like
We got him excited. Hey, you want to tell some jokes while we got the mic?
Oh, that's cool.
I don't have anything ready.
Rabbit break.
All right, buddy. Resumed.
So you're pretty neutral on school, you were saying?
Yeah. I mean, I can recognize which parts of it are important and which parts I'm going to use. And the parts that aren't, that I know are kind of like, I just have to take this class to graduate. I try not to think about it. I try not to think about maybe if they're wasting time or whatever. So
Yeah. Did you take a personal finance course yet?
I have not taken it yet.
Yeah.
I signed up for it and I didn't get put in it. So
Really?
I got to
So,
take
like,
it
your
this
last
year.
semester then.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of guys take that online. Or a lot of
Yeah, a lot of guys
students.
took it over the summer, but I figured I didn't want to think about school at all in the summer.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I know it's easy. It only takes like a week or two, but
Right. Yeah. And do you ever feel like you're wasting your time over there?
yeah, definitely. There definitely are some classes where I'm wasting my time. For some reason, I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Oh, I've taken robotics 2 times in a row. So maybe that could be one.
What, you
but
took it again just like, well, maybe I wasn't doing it right.
maybe just to have an easy class, but
Yeah. Yeah. That's true too. Nice. What did you think of your time over there? Like, what was good? What's like, oh man, that just did nothing for me.
No, I definitely am kind of with him. Like, school is definitely pretty neutral. I think it was nice to kind of like be around all those people so much and like just kind of like even though school wasn't fun most of the time, like you still could like have fun just because you're around so many guys and like I don't know, it was enjoyable even though it wasn't. And like he was saying like I think a lot, some of it is a waste of time just because it is, but I probably made some of it a waste of my time just because I knew that I didn't care about it. I definitely, that was probably a mistake, but like, I don't know. I think I put effort into what I thought was important to myself.
Yeah.
And
Are there any examples of like, oh, that's probably good information? I just don't care right now.
oh yeah, like any English class throughout high school, I didn't really put as much effort into it as I could have.
Yeah.
There are probably some other classes like, I don't know any off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But like, no, like no offense. Yeah. But AP computer science, I didn't really put effort into it. I just knew that all my buddies were going to be in the class. So yeah, it was just kind of like, give or take. I put effort into some, I didn't into others. And, the point that you don't put effort into it, it's going to be a waste of your time because you're in there anyways. So, yeah, I don't know.
You feel pretty well equipped for like, all right, now on to the next.
I was
You
going
feel
to say,
ready?
like, I knew probably at least late junior year that I was like, I decided I wanted to go into engineering. So like from then and point on, like anything I knew would have to do anything with, math, physics, science. Like I did put forth effort into, and I do feel like I learned a decent amount senior year that will carry on into next year. I think there definitely is still some I probably should have or could have learned, but no, I think I'll be all right.
Yeah. So you hanging on the mic, Noah, the things that you have done that's like, this is not fun, but I'm doing it anyway. From whether that was a paper you were finishing up just to get turned in to get a grade, or it was, say not eating extra dessert because you knew like that's not going to help you go faster in the pool, or jumping into cold water at 5:30 a.m. in the morning. Like, how were you able to do hard things? What was running through your mind that made you show up and do things that was like, it's not good. It's not good right now, but it would be good later.
There are plenty of times, like, especially I can think of like sport wise, like Tennis wise, I really feel like almost always I enjoyed being on the court. It was so different from swimming. Tennis, I always just kind of had fun hitting the ball and like playing a match, doing all that. Like there are times that maybe it was like, yeah, I don't really want to be here right now, but no, definitely like swimming. It was just more of like the past feeling I'd felt like, all right, freshman year, COVID hit, and they made it from top 32 go to state to top 24. That bumped me out for freshman year. And that feeling of like, disappointment was like all I needed from sophomore year on was like, that's all I needed to get into the pool that early. And, sometimes I had to be there by myself, not having any kind of fun, but, just kind of seeing that self-improvement and, going into sophomore year and, I went in individual events sophomore year and placed like from not even making it to state my freshman year. It was just, such a better feeling. And then, on to junior year, I'm chasing that feeling again. So, yeah, even though it sucks, like just that personal motivation to get into the pool and honestly to just do anything else, like turn in that paper, like you were saying, like I had never had any interest to write a paper, never. But I wasn't a B student, so seeing the A at the end of the semester was, it was good to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's ones this last spring where Noah had a paper due on a night of a tennis match. And he's like, hey, his matches were over and the other team matches were going on. He's like, hey, I got this paper due. And I'm like, well, I'll be disappointed not to have you here, but yeah, do what you need to do. And so he left, and I was disappointed. I was like, I think that's a lame choice. But then he came back like 5 minutes later. He's like, I changed my mind. You're right. This is more meaningful, and I appreciate that. I also felt bad. Like, well, great. Now he's gonna, like not get the whatever it was work he needed done. But I think you said later, like, yeah, it probably was a more meaningful choice, even though that match didn't turn out the way we wanted. But
yeah, I don't think I did well on it, but I actually like don't regret it at all.
Like, what would be different right now if you had gone home that night versus stayed?
I don't even remember what class it was in, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember. So
yeah,
I remember that more than whatever I was writing on the paper or whatever I was doing, whatever kind of assignment I was doing. I don't remember.
Right. Yeah, it's just I know most parents would want for their kids or coaches want for their kids. Like, yeah, do the best you can, but I think sometimes like older generations aren't considering how limited your guys' time actually, like your time's super valuable. Mm-hmm. And I think that's something that like everybody doesn't maybe get right. Like you don't treat like every moment you have as like really important because you can waste plenty of them. So it doesn't make them all feel not that important. But where you do, you guys have made a lot of choices. Well, I'll be here, and by being here, I'm not going to be over here, or I'm not going to be doing that thing. So I thought it was a cool moment to experience with you, even though like I wouldn't have changed the way I felt about you if you're like, yeah, I'm not staying for this match. It's still, I hated it at the time when you asked me because I'm like, if I say no, don't go, that has a downside. If I say yes, go, whatever, that had a downside. So the moment you did it, because the moment you asked the question, it was like, all right, there's tension. But actually, in the aftermath,
I didn't think there was gonna be tension. I thought you were gonna be like, yeah, that's where I go for it.
So so you created you set the table for that, and I'm thankful because like, yeah, it wouldn't have mattered long term if you'd stayed. It wouldn't have mattered long term if you went home and finished it. But it was also like a good moment. Like we both were kind of feeling like, oh, it's not great either way. And I think that was worth it alone.
No, I will say like overall, I think I've never been the best at like making decisions, big or small. But you definitely gave me the idea of like, all right, you need to reevaluate. And honestly, like that's kind of how, I've gone on like thinking like, all right, even though I'm not good at making decisions, I think if I think about it enough, I go with my gut. I think like I never regret what I do, or I haven't in a while. I don't make a lot of decisions that I regret after putting a lot of thought into it, even though I'm not the best at making decisions.
Right. And you made bad decisions along
Yeah,
the way, I'm sure.
for sure.
Just like everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Owen, I think the original question was like, what has enabled you to do something that you didn't want to do? Like, how can you, any of the number of painful, crappy things you've chose to do, why?
Whenever I've got to write an essay or, show up to practice super early in the morning, I always think about, what happens if I don't do this? If I don't write this essay, my grade is going to tank.
Darcy's going to be mad.
My mom will be mad. If I don't show up to practice, I'm not going to make it to state. I'm not going to get any better. Like last year, one of my big goals was to cut quite a few seconds off my 100 fly time. I think I started at a 102 or 103, and I wanted to get sub-minute, and I ended the season with a 101, and that was that really hurt. That was tough. And I think that's been one of my biggest motivators this season to get in the pool. I've been doing as much practice as I can since June, and I think that's been a big reason that I've been able to stay in the pool and keep focused.
Have you timed your 100 fly recently?
Not yet. I'm kind of scared. Not yet.
I think that was one of the questions I don't know that I was going to get to. Like, have you wanted something and not gotten it? Because you talked about that record you guys broke as a relay. It's like, yeah, we wanted it and we did it. You failed a few times, and in your case, you're like, yeah, there's something you want and you have not yet received it. But that does help you to think about that when it's time to go to work. Is that right?
Oh yeah, that helps me a lot this year. I think back to last year. I remember it. I remember every frame in my head of finishing my race, looking up at the board, seeing the 101, and just running out, getting out of the pool, going to the bathroom, and just not a good time.
Yeah,
not a good time.
Are you guys afraid of pain? Are you afraid of anything?
I wouldn't say I'm afraid of pain as long as I know it means something, or I know that it's not permanent. You know what I mean? When I'm in practice and I'm like, my arm's hurt, this sucks, this is awful, I just keep telling myself, you're going to be out in an hour or two, you're going to be done in November, this isn't how it always is. So I think that's really keeps me going.
Yep. How about you, Noah? Afraid? Fear?
Yeah, I mean, there are things that I'm afraid of. Like, I don't know, like, I think it's definitely a certain type of fear. I don't know. It's just very uncertain. Like, all right, what's going to happen 5 years down the road? How am I going to, like, how is college going to go out for? Like, I'm definitely very nervous for how the next few weeks are going to go out. But like, once again, I feel like I'm always a big, like, everything happens for a reason. Like, things will fold out to how they fold out. So, yeah, like, pain and fear, like, pain will happen. You may fear whatever, may be nervous for something, but I feel like it all will come out to something better, or it'll come out to something different. It may not be as much better, but it'll be different. So, yeah.
Yeah. Did you two imagine that you'd be the type of guys that other people would, like, set their tone off of? Like, you would be the trendsetter, the confident ones in your circles in your high school?
Yeah, I didn't really think about that until, like, I was the team captain of both swimming and tennis. I feel like once I kind of took that spot over, it was like, all right, these people are now looking up to me. No matter what it was, I had eyes on me doing whatever. If that was, warming up, if that was my diet, if that was how I acted at school, how I performed on my grades, how I ended at the end of the season, whether that be in swimming or tennis. Like, I feel like there are always eyes on you once you took that upper position of, like, all right, this person's an upperclassman. He's the guy that, he's the face of the team. He's someone that, everyone's looking at. on the team and from, outside. Like people are going to associate a lot of people are going to associate the team with, the main guy or the few of the main guys. So yeah, it's just kind of like I had once I got into that position my junior year, I realized how many eyes were on you and how accountable how I don't know the word, like that you had accountability.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
Good. What about you?
What was the question again?
Yeah, I mean, did you expect that you'd be the type of guy that
Oh.
sets the trend for others?
Not at all. Not at all. In like middle school, early high school, I was super shy. Didn't talk to many people that I wasn't already friends with. Noah can attest to this.
Really weird.
So yeah, especially to be where I am now, it's very different, but I do feel prepared for it, especially after watching people like Noah see what he did and how good of a leader he was with stuff like the swim team. I feel prepared. I feel ready.
Nice. Yeah, I do imagine the secret sauce to both of you and, say the next year for like a senior year, freshman year at college. I think the one thing that's like, okay, if you took that away, then it would be a bigger challenge is both of your confidence, as much as like, yeah, you say weird things sometimes, you make a joke that doesn't land and you end up looking like a nerd. It's like, yeah, but it doesn't matter. It's like, so what? Like, yeah, I make mistakes. I'm not perfect, but I'm who I am. And both of you carry that really well. And I think it's what has landed you a lot of enjoyment the last few years of high school. I think it's what will equal you saying K-State's amazing. I don't think it's particular to K-State. I think you could do it anywhere. Yeah. I think it'll be curious because I know you have been a leader in your own right, but you've also been a follower. But now it's like, no, you are a leader. And I think if you just carry that into another level this senior year, it's like you'll have a great time. And there'll be other guys that maybe are sitting in these seats someday or on a team at the school that because you gave them any attention, like it probably will change their lives. So it's pretty cool to think about, even though it's like, yeah, you're just being you. I do want to ask you a little bit more about like how you make the money choices, and particularly like you took personal finance and it wasn't that meaningful, right?
No.
Yeah. Tell me about what you thought about that course. What was it
I
about?
thought the online course was pretty dumb, and I feel like the curriculum at school, like how they deal with personal finance, is kind of like I don't think it's useful. I think I would say like as I've like kind of grown up more, I've realized like I can differentiate the more important classes and like, this is going to pay off more. This isn't. I don't need this. Like I was saying earlier, like I didn't try in things that I didn't, think applied. And like, I had to put attention into that online course, and it wasn't, it just didn't seem like it was, a lot of it was common sense and some of it was just not like, I don't know, it just wasn't the best way to teach someone how to use their money.
So what is there anything that could have gotten your attention as a 17-year-old when you pulled that up, or 16, however old you were?
Yeah. And I would say I definitely, if I did it again, I'd do it in person. Like, and I don't know if like, it was just that I was like not, that it was just kind of like a school thing. Like, I think if I had some other adult that I like looked up to that knew how to use their money, told me how to use my money, and like taught me how to invest and, put money in stocks and do all that stuff. Like, I think I would be much more invested. But I think the way they treat it at school is just not the best. 'Cause I feel like I don't know if this is true, but every teacher that like gets their education degree is like able to teach personal finance.
Yeah.
So they just follow this like step-by-step curriculum. It's not like, I don't know. I just don't think it's the best way.
Right.
Yeah, like
Gym teachers.
yeah, like one of them's the weights teacher, and yeah, like I think it could have been a tiny bit better if I was at school, but it would have been the same. It's the same thing. So I think definitely like, I don't know, the way at school is just not the best in my opinion.
Yeah, and it wasn't
Yeah.
a Dave Ramsey
No,
course online.
no.
right? But it was videos and then
Yeah.
answer the questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just not a lot of value there.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So what do you expect, and what would you think would work well for an 18-year-old guy to like, oh yeah, this is actually good information? Or is there any way to force it upon somebody?
So, what I've always been told from my parents was anytime I got any birthday or Christmas money, from the second I started getting money, they always said, save it, save it, save it. And still, whenever I spend money on anything, I still get kind of chewed out, no matter how big or small it is.
Didn't even do anything. Why are you chewing me out?
I just bought some McDonald's. But no, I think my parents have always pressured me to save my money and spend it smart. And they've been a huge influence into, how I do use my money. Although most of the times it's not in the smartest ways, but yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel confident as you like come into like complete independence? Do you feel confident on your ability to manage your time and your money well?
I do. I think I've been set up pretty well. I think I could go out on my own and I wouldn't, just spend everything. Because I've got a few friends who never have more than like $60 to their name, and I can't imagine how they live and do anything.
Yeah.
So
Have you two entered that period of life yet, or are the type of person that like, I don't know how to do that, so I'm gonna do my own research instead of like just learn whatever school teaches you? Like, I'm gonna learn something on my own. Is that approach you would take to money, or is it gonna have to hurt before you learn something?
honestly, knowing myself, I think it would probably have to hurt before I learned something.
They call that stupid tax.
Yep. Definitely stupid tax.
Personally, I know, I don't think I'll end up doing something stupid before I always have eyes down the back of my spine, like telling me, all right, you spend too much money on this. As in my father, he's big, he watches my money a lot, but like I think he's just now teaching my brother how to, put money in stocks and how to like kind of use your money a little bit more as he's graduating in a year and a half.
From college, right?
Yeah, correct. So I'd say in the next 2 years, I don't think I'm going to do anything stupid before before he kind of teaches me a little bit on what, I need to do, what I need to worry about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just something I'm always thinking about. And I mean, you guys saw me thinking about even as a tennis coach, like, okay, there are some things that people just have to learn the hard way. They got to feel that pain. You talking about the pain of 101, you got to feel that. Can't feel that for you. So I'm not going to make you jump in the pool. You're going to decide, And so I was thinking about the same with the way you guys end up choosing how you use your time, how you use your money, like what choice you spend on giving your, affection to females too. Like how do you do that in a way that like, no, this is really good, and not just like, wow, I wasted my time and hers, like all of those things, wanting to help, but knowing it's hard to help when you don't feel it yourself. And I think that's the struggle with personal finance too. So yeah, anything else to add to anything about you or anything we've talked about today? What would you tell like a 14-year-old guy getting ready to enter high school, like, or yourself a few years ago?
Join some kind of program, join something, because just going through high school and going through the motions, you can get so much more from it than that is given to you if you reach out and join a sport or a club or something along the lines of that. Be involved.
Yeah, and I'll add on to like joining something, like it's not just gonna like keep you busy, but like I will say it changes you as a person. Like I'm a completely different person than I would have been. I know for a fact, like if I had never joined a sport, if I had just, like he was saying, gone through the motions, I feel like, I've learned a lot of things, and so many things has happened that it would just be different.
You also meet so many people that you wouldn't have talked to otherwise, like Noah and you, like me and Noah, and you get so many different perspectives on things and different outlooks, and you can make so many new friends, because if I didn't join swim, I know I'd be in my room 24/7 watching TV, just rotting when I'm not in school.
Yeah. And from both of you, it wasn't swim in particular. It was doing something challenging with buddies.
Yes.
And with adults who cared.
Yeah, and it wasn't just swimming. Like, I think it was swimming, and then carried on to school, carried on to tennis. Like, added on to him and all the swim guys. Like, tennis was the same way. Like, especially like our junior year going to state, like that brought everyone so much closer together, and like everything just kind of changed at that point, I feel like. So yeah, it was just like, I don't know, it was everything. It was everything, and swim was a factor. It was definitely a factor, but yeah.
Yeah. I think it's true. And like, a question I'll ask a lot, like imagine you own everything, like all the cars you could ever dream, all the houses, the houses on the beach, you own it all the gold, it's yours. But the kicker is you're the only one left, and that's why you own it. You're the only one. Are you happy? It's like, no, because it's the people that make all of that have meaning. It's the people that make, like jumping in the pool and doing the training, or, getting up early and saying, man, if there's not people waiting on the other side of this pain, then it's just not going to be fulfilling. And I think it's the same for money. If there's not people to enjoy these resources with, what is like the point? And it seems like you guys have walked into that. So great job. Appreciate it. Would love to move into the final spin the wheel so you guys can walk away with something. So I have gift card options pulled up here. I want to record this screen so everyone watching can get a hold of it. Also get a chance to see. Okay. All right. So I think this was, we'll go with you first, Owen. All right. You just have to click on spin right there. See what we land on. Yeah, you're hoping for 20, I know. You could walk away with 5. That wouldn't buy you full. Oh, we got Panera for 5, which is still works. Congratulations. And then Noah for you.
Oh wait, is it a different wheel?
I gave you a different. Yeah, I made your own wheel for you. It would be kind of fun to put a real stinker on there. So, like a donation to an organization you hate.
Spencer's gift card.
All right, what is he gonna land on?
Oh, let's go!
What was it? It was a Chipotle 20.
20 for Chipotle.
Hey, nice. So maybe he'll take you out. And you're like, hey, I'll buy us coffee or drinks at Panera, and you take me for lunch at Chipotle.
Awesome.
All right, great, guys. Good work. It's been a pleasure. I would encourage you to say, keep on doing what you're doing. Pay close attention. Try not to learn too much through your own pain, when others have been there before you too. And then that way you won't miss out on like who you were created to be and like all that's ahead of you. Because as much as like, I think things will be really good. I think both of you will say in 5 years things are good. Also, it's like, yeah, but what if they could have been even better if you're paying closer attention? So great work. Last words? Good?
No, thanks for bringing us on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I had a great time.
Yeah, good times. Good convo. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. These guys are the real deal. Join us next time for Greater Futures Podcast.